What's up everyone, Starzard here, and welcome to Memory Card Lane, a series where I dive into classic games I missed growing up and see what they're like with fresh eyes. In today's debut episode, we are going to be going back to 1989 and talking about Kirby's Dreamland for the original Game Boy. Full disclosure, I did play this game on Nintendo Switch Online, and the first time I played this game was actually on the 3DS Virtual Console. So, that was about 10 years ago. My brother downloaded it. He said, hey, you gotta play this game. It's the first Kirby game. You gotta play it. And I was like, alright, whatever. So I played it. I didn't really give it the time of day, really. I kind of just like blew through it. I think I beat it in like half an hour, and that was pretty much it. Like, I totally forgot about this game. So to me, this counts as a new playthrough, and I'm playing with this with fresh eyes because I remember nothing about the game. So fast forward to like a month ago now. It's been a little bit, but I picked up this game and I played it, and yeah, I decided to make an episode about it. So let's dig into my first impression of this game. So right away you're hit with this title screen where there's a bunch of Kirbys dancing around the screen, and the music is really fun, really catchy, and yeah, I just knew I was in for a fun experience at this point. And then right away after that, you're hit with this quirky little cutscene of Kirby and Green Greens, and then every single level has a fun little cutscene. So, you know, putting myself in 1989, that was 5 years before I was born. And this being Kirby's debut game, I was thinking about it, and I'm like, would I want more of Kirby? You know, what if I played this game back then, and this was first time seeing him, would I want more of this pink puffball? And, you know, based on the cutscenes and everything, I would say yeah, like this, they did a really good job of making him appealing to kind of everybody. Like, I would argue he's a very appealing character. And, you know, 1989, think about it, it was what? Mario, I think probably the first Zelda. And, you know, out of all the characters with their debut titles, Kirby definitely has the most personality out of them all. So, like, these intros and stuff really hit the spot, and they did a really good job of making me want more Kirby. My first impression was the fact that there is no copy ability. And while that does seem weird at first, you know, because that's all we know Kirby for. He's literally his copy ability. Smash Bros. And every single Kirby game after this one, I believe, literally Kirby's Adventure on the NES, he gets it. And all there are enemies that you can use the copy ability on in future games. So, you know, I was very confused at first when I swallowed, I think it was like the static dude, and I didn't copy his ability. You know, I was very like, oh, okay, I guess he doesn't get it. But, you know, after a level or two, I kind of thought about it. I'm like, you know what? I looked at the high score, and I was like, I'm just going to treat this game kind of like an arcade Kirby game, you know? Like, it's obviously very different. It has the core Kirby gameplay with the platforming and stuff, but, you know, with no copy ability, I just inhaled enemies and I would spit them out at other enemies to kind of get kill two birds with one stone, that's the saying. Kind of do that, and I didn't mind it. This game's pretty easy. You don't really need the copy ability anyways, so I had no issues with it, but it was very jarring at first not having that ability. Another thing I want to talk about is the level design. The level design, there's 4 levels, and then the last is a boss rush, if I remember right, and then you fight King Dedede. And the levels are really basic, and you can pretty much fly over all of them. Like, I know I was reading about it in the Wikipedia, and Sakurai actually wanted to kind of take a different stance on platformers at the time, because during that time in the 80s and 90s, there was very hard platformers. You're doing pixel perfect jumps and you're dying all the time, and Kirby was basically the anti-difficult platformer, anti-Mega Man and anti-Castlevania, where you could fly over things, you could swallow your enemies. It's just like, it's the antithesis, if that's the correct word, of literally every platformer at the time. So I really appreciate what he was doing there, and, you know, the fact that you can just fly over pretty much all the levels and get through them all, and then all the bosses are super easy too. Like, these levels, they're really nice because they're simply designed, but they still allow a little bit of exploration, you know, like there's different things you can find different mega tomatoes, I think they're called, and then there are actually secrets hidden through levels. So the secrets were my favorite part, because a lot of these 80s and 90s games, like think of Super Mario World, so many little secrets you can find hidden in alternate paths. While this game doesn't have alternate paths, there are little secrets. Like there's like this spot in the game where I pressed up as if I was going to a door. It's like it's like the end of a corridor in the cloud level, the bubbly clouds. And you press up and you're in like this, you get like invincibility, you get a couple extra lives, and you get like fireball. It's really cool, but it's just one of those secrets that just absolutely bleeds 1989, you know, so I really liked all of those secrets in the levels. It was just made me feel like a kid again and finding these little secrets. Yeah, so level design is pretty good. Bosses, super easy. King Dedede is unpredictable, and that makes it a little bit harder. But overall, this game is very, very simple. Visually, I thought this game aged very well. Like, I did play on the Nintendo Switch Online, so everything's bright, and, you know, I was playing on the OLED, so everything is very bright. And, you know, I really want to play this on the original Game Boy. I do. I really want to play this on the original Game Boy. I refuse to just go out and buy it on eBay. I want to find it in the wild. So this one is on my list to pick up. Because I have my original Game Boy Color from, I can't remember, I was like 6 when I got it for Christmas. And I really want to just pop it in and play it the old-fashioned way, you know. But visually, I think it did age very well. All the sprites and everything's very distinguished from one another. You know, nothing gets lost in the background, and it looks like it's a good-looking game. You know, especially for a monochromatic Game Boy game, it aged very well. The soundtrack also is a banger. I mean, think about it. Green Greens is a staple in the Kirby series. Like, we've been listening to Green Greens since apparently 1989, which I had no idea that this was a 36-year-old song. But, man, that kind of just shows you how timeless that track is. And then you have Kirby's, like, when he finishes a level, he does the that song. And then you have the Invincibility song. There might be a couple other ones that are still around, but those three I recognize really well. And it's just a timeless soundtrack. The only reason I don't think it gets enough love compared to other debut game soundtracks is because you don't spend a lot of time with this game. Think about it. You're in Green Greens, you're in Lolo's Castle, you're in all these different levels for maybe 5 minutes each. So the tracks don't really they don't stick unless you play this game a lot. Unlike like the Overworld and Legend of Zelda, where you have Brinstar and Metroid, and you have all these different areas that you're in there for a long time. Either way, I think this soundtrack's great. My favorite track is Bubbly Clouds. Anybody who's played this game, let me know what your favorite track is. I'm very curious as to what everybody, is, you know, nostalgia. Because a lot of people have nostalgia for this game. I do not, but I really enjoyed Bubbly Clouds. So what did you guys like? Let me know down in the comments. The next thing I want to talk about is the extra mode, which you apparently get after you beat the game. Go figure. I didn't know. So I even told my brother the other day, I was like, did you know there's an extra mode at the end of Kirby's Dreamland? He's like, what? I said, yeah, if you let the credits roll all the way through, you get a hard mode. And he had no idea. So I don't know if he's played it, went back and played it yet, but I played extra mode I think I beat it like a dozen times. And extra mode to me is the true Kirby's Dreamland experience. I think it is the way you should play Kirby's Dreamland. It makes all the enemies just have different movement patterns. There's more enemies. And the bosses some of them are diabolical. King Dedede is diabolical. I will say that. King Dedede is diabolical. I hate him in extra mode, but it was a very good challenge. I think it strikes that fine balance of being difficult while also not being so difficult, because really it comes down to learning enemy patterns. And once you get the pattern down, every enemy is in the same spot. The only difference is the bosses, which they're kind of random. So speedrunning this game is pretty difficult. But yeah, extra mode is the way to go. Here we go, another one. If you beat extra mode, you actually get you get to unlock configuration mode, where you get to customize how many lives you start with. You get to customize your max HP. So you could have 1 life, 1 HP, you could have 5 HP and 9 lives, and you can play this game however you want, which is really cool. And there's a sound test mode. I didn't play around with sound test mode too much. You do get to listen to all the sound effects and stuff, which I thought was really cool. And I can only imagine like being on the bus in like 1989 and being like, hey, look at this, and then your friends being like, how did you get that? What the heck is going on here? How did you get it? How are you listening to all these songs and sound effects, and you know, keeping it a secret? So I envy people living in that era and doing it that way. Nowadays, you just go on YouTube, and I think even on the Nintendo Switch, Nintendo Music app, you can just listen to the soundtrack. So it's whatever, but it was very cool. I really enjoyed doing 1 HP and 1 life on normal difficulty. I found that really fun because that was like the perfect balance of difficulty for me. You get hit once, you're dead. Yeah, so this game, my final thoughts. I really enjoyed this game. Like I said, I beat it probably like a dozen times. Like I just went through and beat it faster, and it was hard for me to put this game down, and I was very sad to move on from this one because I don't know, it just like it struck that perfect balance of like nostalgia, and I don't even know how to explain it, but it was just such a good like cozy game for me. I really enjoyed this one. But I am excited to play the next Kirby game where he does get the copy ability. I'm excited for that. But overall, I think this is a great Kirby game. I think if you have not played this one, definitely check it out. It's like the foundation of all the Kirby games because it's a platformer. The only thing different is you don't have the copy ability. That's it. It's still a cozy platforming Kirby game that we all know and love. So yeah, I really like this one. I'm really sad to move on from it. I do think it is a really good one. Yeah, so that was that. I'm gonna wrap it up here. I could talk about this game for like all day. So thank you so much for walking down memory card lane with me. If you do have a retro favorite or one you think I need to play, maybe I have played it, maybe I haven't, just let me know if there's one game you really want me to cover for the first time. Because for me personally, I enjoy watching people play games for the first time that I've been playing my whole life. I think that's cool. I think that's fun. It's fun to see people's, like someone playing it the first time, their opinion on it. Because, you know, I'm 31 years old. My first time playing Kirby's Dreamland, I liked it. But, you know, some people might not. And, you know, you might have differing opinions on me. Maybe you played it back in 1989 and you agree with everything I said. Whether that's the case, let me know down in the comments. And if you want to see more of these type of episodes, let me know by liking this video, leaving a comment, and subscribing. And make sure you hit that bell because I release indie reviews every Thursday, and I'm going to try and release a Memory Card Lane episode every other to every third week. So probably every third Monday of the month. So if you like that, there's going to be loads of content coming to this channel. So thank you all so much for watching. Starzard.